The first one you see, sales and sales management, we bring up first because it's the one that most students take upon graduation out of marketing. Certainly the most popular job that's offered to marketing students. It's also the one that actually is debated the most among marketing students as they graduate. There are some folks in marketing major who they are excited about sales, they want to do sales, and that's really where they see themselves. And you can make a lot of money and have a very satisfying career being in sales. But obviously sales isn't for everybody. It really does take a special person to do it year after year for decades and make a career out of it. That said, there are a lot of marketing jobs where to get to the marketing job, you first have to serve in sales. And you have to basically do time and learn the job and learn about the organization through working as a sales account representative. And what this next slide shows you is really the big three that we talk about that I shouldn't say students, that graduates get by working in sales initially after they graduate from UT. First, they learn about their own customers by calling on the customers and hearing the needs and wants that the customers have and understanding how to provide solutions to those needs and wants, those customer problems. Next, you learn about your own products that your own company has, because those are what you're using to provide solutions for the customer problems. Thirdly, you learn about the competitors and your company's competitors. So what you get out of a sales job, you learn about your company's customers, about your company's products, and about your company's closest competitors. And that's why so many marketing jobs start out with serving a stint first in sales for, say, 2 to 3 years, and then moving from that on into marketing management and maybe even brand management. Having brought up brand management, that's the next one that comes up on the slide. A lot of our students are interested in brand management. They're intrigued by the idea of brand and branding of a product or service. That said, most brand management jobs tend to go to MBAs and also to people with more experience in marketing. They don't initially go to undergraduate marketing graduates or recent marketing graduates. What will happen is, in some cases, you'll work your way up into a brand management position. And those tend to be assistant brand manager, associate brand manager, and then brand manager. There have been some cases, and a handful, it's not to say that it's impossible, but where our undergraduates have gone into brand management jobs with firms. A lot of it depends on the size of the firm. But thinking about medium-sized and larger firms, usually brand management is something that happens 5 and even 10 years after you graduate from college. But brand management still is a viable career path as time goes on. The next slide is advertising. One thing to understand about advertising is that it is the creative side of marketing. And what happens in ad agencies is they use a lot of unpaid interns. And because of that, the competition to get a paying job at an ad agency is at a very high level. And it's difficult to go straight from college and get into an ad agency in a paying position straight out of college. They want to see experience first. One way to do it that can be done is to work as an account representative for an advertising agency. So you would be working in sales, but for an ad agency, and basically selling the ad agency services to different customers, business customers. And through that, obviously, you're at an ad agency, and then over time, you can make the transition from sales into actual advertising work. And that is a potential path to use to get into advertising. Next on the list, and we hear this a lot from students, is working for a nonprofit organization. It is just important for nonprofits to market as it is for actual for-profit businesses to use marketing. So there are a lot of jobs available in nonprofit. The only caveat I think we would add to that about nonprofits is the jobs are there. But if you think about what a nonprofit organization is trying to do, they traditionally do not pay very well. But the people who work at nonprofits usually aren't there for the money. They're not there for the paycheck. They're there because they believe in the mission and the purpose of the nonprofit organization. You still have to pay the bills. You still have to put food on the table. But you can do it and work for a nonprofit that really means a lot to you. American Red Cross, American Lung Association, American Heart Association, Habitat for Humanity, just to name a few. Next on the list, as you see, is retail and working in retail. Retail also is a lower paying job, and it usually entails longer hours and also working in retail operations first to work your way up through and to get into marketing. A lot of our marketing students go to work for retailers as buyers, and they enjoy that a great deal. It is a lot of hours, and it is a different type of marketing, but it's a lot of our students do enjoy doing that. And as you saw earlier on the companies that hire at UT, there are at least 3 or 4 major retailers that come to us for marketing students to work. And they have excellent management trainee programs. Sears, Target, Macy's, and JCPenney's all come to mind. Next, another career path that we hear a lot about is sports marketing. A lot of interest in sports marketing. It is another area that is highly competitive because so many college graduates are interested in going into sports and sports marketing. It's a very interesting area to be in. It's a lot of fun industries. We have had students go work for the PGA, go to work for NASCAR, go to work in Major League Baseball. In most of those cases, they really did have to work their way up, just like any other career path would be. But they usually start out, again, at a lower paying job. But not unlike nonprofits, it's something that they're really excited and passionate about. It is doable. If you still have time left at UT, within your general elective hours, there is an excellent sports marketing course that the sports management program runs here at UT. So you may want to look into that. It will count just towards general elective hours, but it gives you some direct expertise in sports marketing that we really don't have in the College of Business. So that's something to look into if that's an area of interest for you. Another one that comes up fairly often is the idea of going into marketing research. If you are good with numbers and you enjoy statistics and you like working with statistics and numbers, think about marketing research. Marketing research firms, there are as many of those, if not more of those, than there are ad agencies. It is very hard to find somebody who's left-brained and right-brained enough to enjoy the creativity of and the art of marketing and enjoy the left-brain side of statistics and working with numbers. And that's exactly what marketing research firms do. We can provide you, if you're interested, with a list of marketing research firms, and you may want to go through those and look at it. But it would involve either a co-concentration or a collateral in statistics or in business analytics, which is also from the statistics department. Public relations is also another area of interest. While we don't directly have public relations courses, a number of our students have been hired by PR firms and have learned the public relations business through a hands-on approach. Lastly, tourism and destination marketing is one of the largest growing areas within the whole marketing community. I myself was actually involved with tourism destination marketing for the Florida Panhandle and Destin, Florida, and Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Very interesting work. The folks who stay in destination marketing actually move from area to area and city to city, and how they basically promote themselves or get promoted and advance their career is to go from, say, a Destin, Florida to a Daytona Beach to Orlando to Las Vegas. So you work in bigger and bigger destination markets until you end up either one that you really, really enjoy or one that's big enough where you can settle for your entire career, like a Las Vegas and New York or Chicago, Los Angeles, or San Francisco. So those are the major career paths we have in marketing. Think about these, go back and watch this video perhaps again and make more notes about the ones you're interested in. The marketing faculty you see in this video and from Career Services, come see us and talk to us about it. If we don't have direct expertise in that area, we can direct you to someone here in faculty who does, and we'd be glad to do just that. On the next slide, you'll see another area that comes up is, should I go to graduate school after I graduate and finish my undergraduate degree here at UT? Should I go get an MBA is the question that comes up the most. What we, the faculty, unanimously agree on here in the Department of Marketing and Logistics, your education and your career is best served if you go get 2 to 3, even 5 years experience out in industry first before you go on to get an MBA. The academic setting of an MBA is very different than that from an undergraduate degree. A lot of the learning that takes place is building on experience that you've already had in industry. A lot of the learning that takes place is built on the interaction between you and other industry professionals who are your colleagues in cohort in your MBA class. When you go straight from undergraduate or go after just 6 months or a year after your undergraduate degree to an MBA degree, you don't have that experience, you don't really have that foundation to build on. If you have your heart set on doing that, and for whatever reason, financially or personally, now's the time to do it, then go ahead and do it. But what we're saying is, if you have the option to wait and get industry experience first, we strongly recommend you do that before you go on to graduate school. Another question to ask yourself and ask your mentor at work is, will an MBA further my career? There are some of us who came from the hospitality industry, hotels and restaurants in particular, where there was really no advantage to getting an MBA. And if anything, there is a disadvantage to taking a year to 2 years off of work just to focus on getting an MBA. So it actually was probably more of a negative than even a positive. So that's something to think about. On the other hand, if you've enjoyed the academic life while you've been a student, and you think you have what it takes to do research primarily, and then secondarily to teach at the college level, start thinking now about perhaps going on and getting a PhD. Most PhDs in business hold an MBA or some form of master's degree first. That's just part of how business administration works. So you would have to do that next, but if you think that you might want to be a professor one day, and it is a great life to have, if you think about doing that, you may want to start putting the pieces in place to get a master's degree, including an MBA, and then to move on and also get a PhD later on. With PhDs, we also look for people with industry experience. It's hard to do research on, and it's hard to teach things that you haven't personally either experienced or at least observed while in industry. So you still need that industry experience before you can move on towards a PhD as well. Also, next slide, we recommend that you join the American Marketing Association. There's nothing that really benefits directly the department financially by you doing that, but the network that you will begin to create with your fellow students as members of the UT American Marketing Association will be relationships that will help and benefit your career for years to come. And we've heard that time and time again from past graduates who are still in touch with colleagues who were formerly classmates while at AMA in the University of Tennessee. In closing, you've chosen well. Marketing is a great area to be in. As you've already seen, the jobs are there, the pay rates are there to make it worthwhile doing, and again, to be able to pay your bills and put food on the table. There's also a lot of very enjoyable jobs. Find the part of marketing, if you can now, that most interests you, that you're most passionate about. And we know that you hear that a lot, to find something you love to do. That's easier said than done, obviously. But really think about it and do a lot of soul searching about what parts of business, what product categories, what industries that you're most interested in, and then begin to gather information about marketing jobs within that industry or product category. And it'll really be time well spent. Anything we can do, the faculty, to help you towards that end, that's why we're here. And we all firmly believe that. We teach in the classrooms, but we're also here to advise and consult you outside of the classrooms. And we'll all be more than willing to take the time to help you. So just call us, email us, stop by and see us, and we'd be glad to help. Thanks, and thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and see you in the classroom soon.